And so the way we frame big data is that we try to go beyond conceptualization of big data that is centered on it being just large data sets. So clearly, one of the novelties of and the main features of big data as a phenomenon, and so what I call a social technological phenomenon, is indeed the data. So it's these very large, high frequency, varied data sets coming from different sensors and devices and services that humans use increasingly in their daily lives. And these can be called crumbs or digital breadcrumbs. So it's like the first C of big data. But it's also very important to realize that without the capacities, technical, human, and so the methods and the tools and the know-how to actually make sense of these data, to store them, to collect them, to analyze them, there would be no such thing as big data as a social phenomenon. There would just be like these crumbs would just be inert material. So the second C of big data is also very critical, very central to what big data is. It's these capacities to actually make sense of the data. And the third one, the third C of big data stands for communities. And it's basically the big data community or the big data communities. It's all the actors as individuals, institutions, corporations that are emitters, producers, collectors, users of data.
I mean, I think we need to engage local communities, particularly the vulnerable communities. I think that means community leaders in different places. That could be the local disaster relief NGO or humanitarian group like a chapter leader for the Red Cross. It could be a church organization. In this process of just the very science, the very assessment of what vulnerability means for those locations. And in many ways, people know the simple solutions to make people more resilient. And often the first responder is your neighbor, and that can be life-saving.
Yes, as we see it, and where we try to partner, it's basically three different units. It's the academic research part of society, where we actually in Flowminder everybody is a researcher and come from that background. So that's a very necessary part, because you really need to understand the issues you're trying to get at, to estimate, to solve. The other part is, of course, providers of new types of data. Mobile operator data is just one form of data. We use a lot of remote sensing data, household survey data, and really the key thing is how you can leverage the information from very disparate sources, but still in a statistically robust way. And a lot of that is actually our core focus. And the third group are the operational agencies. So that's UN agencies, NGOs, governments, policymakers, anybody who directly takes decisions on where resources should be allocated, either for preparation or in response to an event. I mean, fundamentally, they are the ones that need to understand the outputs of the analysis and the uncertainties of the analysis.